Good evening, namaste, and very hearty welcome to all of you to this special program on MahaShivaRatri. So today we are going to have sound healing session to begin with, where we will learn about various sound instruments, some new instruments also, some very special instruments for MahaShivaRatri. We will have stress management session through sound healing, and there will be a lot of sharing by Guruma from Shiva Surada Shastras, Shiva Sutras, Agam Shastras, and all the knowledge given by Lord Shiva. And the third session at the end, we will have meditation. All right, so let's start with the prayers by Guruma. Lord Shiva. And the third session at the end, we will have meditation. All right, so let's start with
Namaste and heartiest welcome to you all. Let's महाशिवरात्रि की सभी को हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं. An auspicious occasion of MahaShivaRatri where Lord Shiva
गुरुमा YouTube का वॉल्यूम बंद कर दो. YouTube में जाके वॉल्यूम बंद कर दो.
and heartiest welcome to you all. Let's on this auspicious occasion of MahaShivaRatri, Lord Shiva and Mata Parvati. It's a merging of both the energy and consciousness merging together, and it's a state of oneness and celebration. Let's begin with the prayers. We'll chant Om 3 times. Om. Akhand mandalaparam vyaptam yena characharam tatpadam darshitam yena tasmai shri gurave namaha. Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwara Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Adi Guru Sri Shiva and Adi Mata Parvati. Let us pray to them with 3 times Om and a prayer, special prayer offered at their lotus feet. Om. Om. Let us pray to them. Om. Karpura Gauram Karunavataram Samsara Saram Bhujagendraharam Sada Vasantam हृदयारविन्दे भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि ॐ श्री शिवशक्त्यै नमः With these prayers and invoking the grace of Lord Shiva, let us start our meditation session today. तुझे YouTube चा आवाज बंद कर. तुझा volume.
Okay, so we are going to start with introduction of new sound healing instruments, and we will reintroduce all the instruments we did last time because many people missed it, and today this is going live on YouTube, so many more people will be able to see the recordings also. All right, just to set the tone, let me start. Okay, the first instrument we introduce is a gong. Okay, the second instrument is this aluminium rimming box. third instrument is a hand-beaten bronze Himalayan singing bowl, very commonly known as Tibetan singing bowls. Okay, the next instrument we have is the rimming ball, but this is made up of brass bronze. Okay, the next thing we have, these are the bells. And these are called energy chimes. Okay, so now we are going to learn about some very special instruments. The first one is for the thunder sound. This is a very special drum. Okay, the next instrument we have, these are called the pulse tubes. So it has it's an aluminium pipe with one side closed, and there is a slit here, and there is a hole here which control the sound. So in this also there are various sizes. Okay, we have different types of tubes and different types of, they are also known as xylophones, uh, swinging chimes, wind chimes, hanging chimes, all different sorts of names. Okay, this is the hanging xylophone. Next we have lots of percussion instruments. They are also known as shakers. And we have this wooden egg shaker, gives a very nice sound. And on MahaShivaRatri, to get that rattling sound. Then this is the African instrument known as the bamboo tong. This gives that special jungle effect. Okay. Next we have few bansuris, wind instruments, windpipes. And many times you listen in the movie background music, the chirping of the birds, which is done by this kind of instruments. Okay, for MahaShivaRatri, we have got very special damrus. These are Shiva's damrus. We have this large damru here. And this very small but very effective damru. Okay, we have this instrument. This is known as a surtara. And this is called the happy drum.
मुलुंड वेस्ट में जाना नहीं है, ईस्ट में जाने का है।
Okay, this instrument is shamanic drums, or in India we call it. chords and all, we have this small wooden instrument. All right, so that was about introducing the different sound healing instruments. What we are going to now do is use all these instruments in a very special manner and get that special sound healing effect on this occasion of MahaShivaRatri. Let me say a few words about MahaShivaRatri first, and then we'll start with the sound healing meditation. Okay, so MahaShivaRatri is a very popular festival in India and many parts of the world. There are three special occasions where it is mentioned in Bhagavatam. Number one is this is the day when Shiva appeared. शिव प्रकट हुए, ऐसा लिखा है भागवत में. So you can say this is the birthday of Lord Shiva. The second mention about this in Bhagavatam is this is also the day when Shiva and Parvati got married. So this is also not just the birthday but anniversary day as well. But the more important, the third myth, which is more related to meditation, is Shiva became absolutely still in his own nature, and that is MahaShivaRatri. So for us, all the meditators, the third one is a very important aspect. See, all the Indian festivals, they are not just festivals, they are very scientifically placed on the calendar. It has some astronomical significance and a lot of astrological significance. So this one day prior to no moon day, which is called as Amavasya, okay, this is the 14th Tithi on the lunar calendar, which is known as Shivaratri. So every month there is Shivaratri, which is the darkest night. In this month of Magha in Gujarati, Magha, all different types of pronunciations are there across India. One day prior to Amavasya, this is called as a MahaShivaRatri. And the significance of this is the energy levels on the northern hemisphere of the earth is energy upsurge is there. And that is why on MahaShivaRatri night we meditate. Naturally, Kundalini awakening can happen because the upsurge is upward moving. That's why we call it as an upsurge of energy. It moves upward. So anybody who meditates on MahaShivaRatri night and becomes absolutely still, the Kundalini awakening can happen, the enlightenment can happen, and that absolute stillness can happen. So across the India, in various different cities, villages, cultures, we have this concept of Jagaran. So people stay awake throughout the night. But unfortunately, only that aspect is known to some. So some people have parties, some people have entertainment, some people play cards, and all sorts of ways are there to do the Jagaran. But the real Jagaran is not just being awake. The real Jagaran is meditating into that stillness where awakening can happen. So tonight is the night for meditation where you remain absolutely alert and aware from inside, so that that awakening can happen. You can know the other dimension of life, the spiritual dimension of life. Shiva, the word Shiva means that which is not. You see, the whole world is full of darkness. If there is a light, there is a source of light. But when there is nothing, there is only the darkness. What we know matter is a very, very small portion of the whole universe. What we know, these galaxies and solar systems and planets and all, is a very small part of the known or the seen world. The majority of the portion of the universe is that darkness where nothing is there. That nothingness is Shiva. So Shiva means that which is not. So ultimately, when the dissolution happens, everything merges into that darkness, into that nothingness. And when the creation happens, everything sprouts out from that darkness, and the galaxies are formed, the solar systems are formed, the planets are formed, all different species will come back again, and this game goes on. This is called Shiva Leela. So when we talk of that darkness, nothingness, it is not the void or the darkness as we understand normally. It is the most intelligent creative force from where everything is created. That aspect is called Shiva, the most creative aspect, who creates everything, and ultimately everything dissolves back into that creative force, and that force remains ever creative. To know that creative force within, we must remain alert and awake and meditate on this night in absolute stillness. And that is why we celebrate MahaShivaRatri through meditation. So first of all, we have to set our attitudes right. It is not about just keeping awake by playing cards or entertaining or having parties. It's not about just being awake. It is about sitting in the stillness and preparing ourselves before that, and getting ready for the awakening of knowing that the most creative force we call as Shiva. So that is the significance of MahaShivaRatri. Today, around 12 midnight to 1:30 a.m., that 1.5 hour is a very special time for meditation. So we are going to continue this up to 9 p.m., but 12 midnight to 1:30 is the most auspicious time for meditation, all of you, and that you should consider as your local time, because so many people are there from the different parts of the world. So take it as your local time, wherever you are there, from midnight to 1:30. So that 1.5 hour is the most auspicious time for your meditation. All right, so now get ready for the MahaShivaRatri sound healing meditation. So in the beginning there was nothing, only that nothingness, which is also the absolutely still, very creative intelligence with no content in it. So that absolute creative force, which is nothingness, we call it as Lord Shiva. So here the Shiva means that which is not. Absolutely nothing is there. There is no creation that has happened. And that creative force has an intention, which is mentioned in all the scriptures, is called Ekoham Bahusha. So that one wants to become many and experience the life. And with that intention of that ultimate intelligence we call Lord Shiva, the first came is known as the Spanda. Spanda means kinchita kalata, just about to move. It has not yet moved, it's just about to move in the form of vibration. But vibration has not yet happened, so it's called as a Spanda. And there's a whole scripture called Spanda Karikas, which we are going to learn in this year. Once it starts to vibrate, then it is no more the Spanda. That's why it is called as the Spandan. Spandana, Spandan. And that Spanda means vibration. So now the vibration has happened. Once the vibration is there, there is the energy and there is a frequency. So the vibration has started. And in mythology, it is described as that Shiva means the ultimate intelligence. Lord Shiva started playing Damru, and with that sound of Damru, the whole creation began through matrukas, the sounds. Matrukas and the energy of the matruka. So this alphabets appear, and the alphabets come together, they form the words come together, form the sentences, and the sentences, the language develop and the meaning develop. The life started happening. Everything started in this universe with the sound. That's why we respect sound so much and we use the sound in every possible way. So MahaShivaRatri is the occasion for all of us to understand and experience that oneness with Lord Shiva, which is oneness with everything, which is oneness with nothing, which is oneness with your own self. And in that stillness, if you sit with the spine vertical, because of the upward moving force, you can get into that new dimension where the very life gets fulfilled. So first understand, and from midnight to 1:30 in the morning, 1.5 hours, you will meditate with the spine vertical. Sitting properly with the spine vertical, you can do the meditation. So we are going to prepare ourselves for that midnight meditation, and this kind of awakening happens very nicely if all our channels, our meridians are clean and our chakras are fine-tuned. So what we are going to do now is you sit with the spine vertical right now. We are going to play some instruments and you observe the effect of the sound in your spine, in the Shushmana Nadi. If your nostrils are balanced, then the middle channel opens up, and when you listen to this sound, sounds reverberate in your Shushmana Nadi, the middle channel, and lots of karma cleansing happens. So you can undo whatever has happened in your life, whatever you want to undo in your life, and a lot of karma challenge happens, and this is a very, very special day. So if we open the nadis and we fine tune the chakras with the sound, it can give amazing results on this special occasion. So sit with the spine vertical, keep your palms open to sky, but keep it on your lap comfortably. Don't hold it like this, just put it onto the lap and enjoy the meditation.
Shiva and Shakti, they are inseparable. Shiva, Chit Shakti, and Shakti, Ananda Shakti. And they always remain inseparable. From them emerge a pure intention of Ekoham Bahusyamaha. I am one, and let me enjoy the play. And the play began. The first energy which emerged was Ichha Shakti, the energy of pure intention. Intention that let me enter into many forms, let me create a universe, and let me enjoy through those different forms what is enjoyment and what is suffering. Let me experience all these things. And thus began the creation. Ichha Shakti gave rise to Jnana Shakti. Shiva himself started expanding in all these energies. Shiva is inert consciousness, and Shakti is its vibrational aspect. So when Shiva is expanding, the vibrations spread all over. Shiva is in the form of Bindu when the forms begin. When from Shiva a Jiva is born, Shiva is in the form of light, Bindu, and Shakti decides to ignore his presence, and she becomes Kundalini and goes into the Mooladhara and sleeps there as Nada. So Nada and Bindu now are together in the Jiva, but they have apparently decided to appear as separated. And this Kundalini in the form of sleeping goddess mother is in 3.5 coiled serpent. She's sleeping. You cannot awaken her by force. She can be awakened only by Nada. Why do we do sound meditation? Is she can be awakened only by Nada. And for this, when a yogi sits in meditation, what he does, he starts churning his energy body, and when that churning begins, he starts creating the sparks of awareness every now and then, and there is a fire going on of God consciousness, that in that fire this havi of sparks of awareness is put, and that light of awareness, of supreme light of awareness, is burning in the form of Agni, and the sparks of awareness are put by the yogi into that fire. And again, when the sparks are going and hitting Mother Kundalini, she starts getting awakened from her sleep. And as she starts getting awakened from her sleep, she wants to meet her beloved Lord Shiva, who is in the form of Bindu. So when she awakens, she starts going straight up in the form of energy Shakti, which is Rekini, and she starts rising up. When she starts rising up, there are obstacles created by Raudri Shakti, and a triangle is formed. Jiva cannot know its Shiva Swarup in purity. Jiva thinks, I am a limited being, and in that limitedness, I am so small. How can I be that magnanimous, infinite, eternal self, which is Swachandanath? I cannot be that. And that is why there are 3 energies now. One is known, there is knower, and there is a process of knowing or knowledge. this triangle is formed by Raudri Shakti. And then this Mother Goddess Kundalini, who is sleeping, now wants to know her real nature when she is together with Lord Shiva, how that pure state of oneness is. She's eager to meet her beloved. And so she connects to Lord Shiva in the form of light, and the subjectivity and objectivity, or Shivatva and Jivatva, they get connected. In the process, when more and more sparks of awareness are put by the yogi into this fire, the fire starts becoming bigger, and all the karmas and all the thoughts, they start burning into this fire of awareness, which is now burning in unbroken way, unbroken awareness, and eternally that fire starts burning. And slowly, slowly, in that light of awareness, all these impurities in the form of karmas, impurities in the form of all material emotions, psychic impressions, which are collected by Jiva, are burning. And Jiva is going into its state of purity. Mother Goddess is nearing her beloved Lord Shiva. And when the entire Jiva, or the entire form, is lighted up with this light of awareness, it's a process of Atma Vyapti. The Jiva knows its Shivatva. Mother Kundalini becomes one with Shiva. Nada merges into Bindu. And when that happens, from Brahmarandhra, this yogi enters into his universal nature. And that is the process of Shiva Vyapti that begins the real process of liberation. On self-realization, yogi knows that I am not that limited being, but I am that universal self. And then actually experiencing that Shivatva, that universal self, that supreme nature of Jiva, which is really, in reality, Shiva, or that supreme consciousness, that process of liberation begins, that is Shivatva. We are not that limited being, that Anu, but we are that magnanimous Shiva, the eternal, the omnipresent form of universal consciousness. Once that is realized, yogi likes to be in that state. It's a state of samadhi. In that state of samadhi, he is in a state of oneness. With bliss, he has entered into that state, and now from that state, he doesn't feel like coming out. But again, from that state of awareness, the creation begins. And now, when that yogi looks at the whole creation, he is looking at the creation from that pure state of universal being. And that pure state of universal being now starts entering into different forms, and with Vismayo Yoga Bhumika, with wonderment, now this yogi starts looking at the whole creation. And this Vismayo Yoga Bhumika, it starts showing him the creation, and that creation is now experienced with harsh, with joy, with ananda. Saundarya Lahari and Ananda Lahari are emanating from this yogi. And in those waves of joy and ultimate beauty, he is observing the whole creation, And how he is observing? Vismayo Yoga Bhumika. Wonderment, a childlike innocence. In every moment, the creation is happening. In every moment, the dissolution is happening. And in that nowness, in that freshness of nowness, is felt this Vismaya, wonderment. Everything is new in every moment. Nita Nutana. Every moment is fresh, new, and with that, the same creation now appears to be a wonderful, fresh, beautiful, lighted up creation. Because everywhere this yogi is operating from the state of that pure awareness. And the purpose of MahaShivaRatri is when we start meditating, we are churning, we are that yogi who sits and starts observing this trio of known, knower, and the knowledge. And as the awareness starts deepening in meditation, slowly, slowly, this trio starts getting dissolved. First, as the thoughts disappear, that which has to be seen or that which has to be experienced disappears. Since there is nothing to observe, nothing to experience, nothing to see, the process of seeing or the process of experiencing withdraws itself within. When that happens, the process of knowing and the known or the seen and the process of seeing, as they are withdrawn, this awareness which was aware of the seen and which was aware of the process of seeing now has fallen onto the knower or the seer, and awareness becomes aware of its real nature, which is the knower. And when that awareness becomes aware of the knower also dissolves into that light. And it's a state of pure enlightenment or a state of oneness. That's what happens on MahaShivaRatri. First, the goddess Parvati meets her beloved Lord Shiva, and they become one. And in that oneness, a yogi establishes into his real nature. MahaShivaRatri, you become that Shiva who is that Maha Shiva, the Adi Yogi Shiva. And in that state, when you enter and when you are established, the life transforms completely. So all of you, please meditate tonight from midnight to 1:30. And in this auspicious time, merge into that state of oneness. Experience that state of oneness and then get absorbed into that ultimate grace where the experiencer no more remains. No experience, nothing to be experienced, only the grace, the pure grace, and the supreme consciousness.
So on this wonderful occasion of MahaShivaRatri, let us experience what Guruma shared, that oneness. For that, we have to understand the life in its totality. And then we will experience through sounds that life, very life which is ticking in us. So stone has life, but very, very low vibrations. In the stones also, the diamond, the crystals vibrate little higher, and from there the consciousness jumps. Higher level of consciousness is in the plants. The blade of grass is more vital than the stone. But in the vegetable kingdom, okay, like in the mineral kingdom, the things move from black stone to crystals to diamond. In the vegetable kingdom also, plant kingdom also, from the blade of grass to the banyan tree, there's a lot of vibrational shift in that kingdom itself. From the great trees like banyan tree, odumber tree, people tree, mango tree, the highly evolved consciousness in that plant kingdom shifts, takes a higher jump into the animal kingdom. Plants cannot move because they are rooted. The degree of freedom goes on increasing. Now the animals can move, the creatures can move. So from the smallest creatures to the highly evolved animals like lions, tigers, elephant, and the ultimate highly evolved is cow. So cow is the highest evolved consciousness in the animal kingdom. From there, it can jump or shift to the human kingdom. In human kingdom, the life is pretty high and our brain is developed. But human beings are stuck with the thought mind, the emotional mind. And from here, we have to gather the courage and go upward and get into that really being human. And that happens only when we grow in three-dimensional aspects, which makes us a real human being. And those three aspects is, first is prana. We have to become more vital. We have to vibrate at high frequency. We have to increase our PVF, personal energetic vibrational frequency. So, three-dimensional approach to becoming a real human being. The first is prana, increase the prana. Number two aspect is growing in love. In the dimension of love and compassion, when we grow, we become really true human being. Otherwise, we are less of human being. There's not much difference between the animal kingdom and the unevolved human being. It's just a little more. Brain is a little better, that's all. The memory mind is there. But unless we grow in the dimension of love and compassion, we don't become the truly human being. So first dimension is growing in prana. Second dimension is growing in love and compassion. And the third dimension is growing in awareness. When we grow in awareness, then only we become superhuman. And there are many other dimensions of life they're all right here. They are the different frequency universes. There are Gandharva Loka, there is a Yaksha Loka, there is a Deva Loka, there is a Rishi Loka, and there is a Satya Loka, Brahma Loka. So the more we grow in the dimension of prana, love and compassion, and awareness, we can travel to this higher lokas and we understand the reality as it is, not just perceived by our sense organs. What we perceive with our sense organs is very, very limited reality. What is the seen reality? There is so much more in the unseen dimension. And if we have to explore that unseen dimension, MahaShivaRatri meditation is the best time. But we need to learn to grow in the dimension of prana, that is energy, vital force, life energy, prana shakti. Number two is growing in the dimension of love and compassion. And number three is growing in the dimension of awareness. So once we do this, then it becomes easier for us to go deeper into meditation, and a shift in perception occurs, and we can start feeling vibrationally the other dimensional realities, and we understand the reality the way it is, not just through the senses, but beyond the senses as well. So get ready for next sound meditation, which is Pran Prem Pragya meditation, growing in the dimension of vitality, love and compassion, and awareness.
We are but a beautiful symphony of different vibrations, different frequencies. As a jiva, we do not realize this harmony because the frequencies are out of tune and we are not aware of the real nature, so the pure frequencies are not being played. When all these frequencies of awareness of different dimensions are played, awareness of those dimensions awakens. And all those dimensions, they start getting tuned. And when in tune, they start playing in harmony. The awareness starts getting expanded. And you start becoming aware of the existence in different dimensions as the existence which is emanating from your own real nature, from your own self. And as these different dimensions are tuned, a beautiful symphony is created. Slowly, slowly, all these vibrations merge into a single frequency, a single sound. Anahad, Nad, Pranava. Pranava Omkar is from where all this Nad has emerged. From there, all these vibrations emerge, and into Om, all those vibrations merge back. Omkar Bindu Sanyuktam Nityam Dhyayanti Yogina कामदं मोक्षदं चैव ओंकाराय नमो नमः ओंकाराय नमो ओंकाराय नमो नमः ओंकार बिंदु संयुक्तम बिंदु Shiva and Om, Ichha Shakti, Jnana Shakti and Kriya Shakti. They all three, along with Bindu, when a yogi meditates upon, he meditates upon his limited form getting experienced as the universal self. Om, when you meditate upon, it allows you to enjoy kamadam, enjoy the material pleasures. Mokshadam, it also leads towards liberation. These different sound frequencies are leading one to that state from where the existence is beginning and into which the existence is merging back. The creation is merging back. We perceive the existence as past, present, and future. But Kalagni Rudra is burning everything into nowness. Let this Kalagni Rudra be experienced through your left toe, left big toe. Let this Kalagni Rudra burn this body into ashes. And when this body is burnt into ashes, if the body is not there, where are you? If you are not your body, who are you? Chaitanyam Atma. You are that pure state, which is a stateless state. Chaitanyam Atma is the real nature.
In that state of oneness, Satchidananda Swarup is realized. Satchidananda, Sat Chit Ananda. Sat means truth, Chid means consciousness, Ananda means joy, bliss, ecstasy. The whole Lila, the play, the game started in the Brahman by Lord Shiva. With that one vibration, spanda, intention of ekoham bahusyami, that one want to experience a multitude of experiences through different names and forms. And in that, the creator is lost in the creation. And in the creation, when the creator realizes itself, there's a tremendous joy, ananda, bliss, ecstasy. Tonight is the night to experience that joy. If you understand the whole game of Lord Shiva, your seriousness will go away. You will become very much available to the moment. You will become playful. It is said that Lord Shiva is very still, but is very playful from inside. That's called spanda. That playfulness is functioning at a different level altogether. So let us experience some vibrations of joy, bliss, ananda. When a soul is caught up in the name and form, experiences itself as a limited being, as a bonded soul, is called as Jivatma, Baddha Atma, bonded soul, is caught up into limitedness. That's why it's called as Baddha Atma. MahaShivaRatri is a wonderful occasion for all of us to come out of this bondage of limitedness of name and form and realize the true self within, where that oneness is experienced. In that oneness, that Satchidananda Swarup Atman is realized, and there's a great joy, there's a bliss, there's ecstasy of that oneness. Because that limitedness dissolves into nothingness. And that alertness, that awareness is very high, and the awareness becomes aware of itself. And the triode dissolution happens. In that dissolution, in that ocean, everything is one, and that oneness is what we call is that Lord Shiva. He is the creator. He is in the creation. He is everywhere. Atra tatra sarvatra. Is there into every particle. That nothingness is not the dead silence, is not the void, but that nothingness is the most creative state, most blissful, ecstatic state of being. In that oneness, that Satchidananda Swarup Atman is realized, where one realizes the truth. The consciousness is conscious of itself, and there is so much of joy, beauty, bliss, ecstasy. It's an extraordinary state which human beings are waiting to get into since thousands of years. MahaShivaRatri, midnight meditation, offers us the wonderful opportunity to get into that oneness state and realize our own Shivatva, from where comes the realization. Shivoham, Shivoham, Shivoham. I am that oneness, I am that Shiva. So keep your spine vertical, get into full alertness, awareness, and prepare yourself for the midnight meditation, where you can experience this ultimate in this human frame, which leads to liberation.
Shivoham, Shivoham, Shiva Swarupoham, Shivoham, Shivoham, Shiva Swarupoham, Nityoham, Shuddhoham, Buddhoham, Muktoham, Nityoham, Shuddhoham, Buddhoham, Muktoham, Shivoham, Shivoham, Shiva Swarupo. Shivoham, Shivoham, Shiva Swarupo. Advaitam Ananda Rupam Arupam. Advaitam Ananda Rupam Arupam. Brahmoham Brahmoham Brahma Swarupo. Brahmoham Brahmoham Brahma Swarupo. Shivoham Shivoham Shiva Swarupo. Chidoham Chidoham Chidananda Swarupoham. Chidoham Chidoham Chidananda Swarupoham. Shivoham Shivoham Shiva Swarupo. Shivoham Shivoham Shiva Swarupo. Shiva Swarupo. This human form we all have come into to experience this universal nature of our own self. And as that process begins, a bliss and joy is experienced as an outcome of that process. In that, the realization happens, Nityoham, I am not the perishable one, the perishable limited self, but I am that eternal self. Shuddhoham, I am that pure consciousness. I am not a limited jiva with karmamala, with mayamala, but I am that pure consciousness. Shuddhoham. Buddhoham, I am that pure knowledge. The knowing is my real nature. Muktoham, thus I am that free, liberated Swachandanath. The real nature of mine is that Swachandanath. Muktoham, Shivoham, Shivoham. And I am not that fragmented one, but I am that Advaitam. And when I am that Advaitam, in a state of oneness, I am that Ananda also. Chit and Ananda is my real nature there. And in that, Rupam Arupam, I am a form and I am a formless at the same time in that state of oneness. From me are emerging all the forms And I am in all those forms. Sadashiva, Advaitam, Ananda, Rupam, Arupam, Shivoham, Shivoham, Shiva Swarupo. Chidoham, I am that pure consciousness. Chidananda Swarupoham, Shiva and Shakti in oneness, in a state of oneness. Chidananda Swarupa. That is what I am. Shivoham, Shivoham, Shiva Swarupa. The Jiva is longing to experience this state of Shivatva within. And we all are blessed to have this human form and the grace of the masters, because of whom this experience is there. When we have experienced these vibrations, let us spread it to the whole globe with Shanti Path. Om Sarvesham Swastirбhavatu Sarvesham Shantirbhavatu Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhino Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kashit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Tonight is MahaShivaRatri. Experience the Shivatva within. Hara Om, Hara Om, Sada Shiva Shambho, Mahadeva Shambho. Hara Om, Sada Shiva Shambho, Mahadeva Shambho. Hara Om, Hara